There's a YouTube channel called My Lunch Break. It's called My Lunch Break YouTube channel. You will get addicted to that shit.
I asked their AI database, the AI ChatGPT, if there were any archaeological finds that have been removed from the public, removing evidence of a previous civilization that was here where we live today. The answer is shocking. Yes, there have been numerous instances where archaeological finds are removed from the public, all of us, where statement number 6 is the final straw for the mainstream narrative, a narrative that is taught to all of us since day one, a narrative that is being taught in children's classrooms in every country, stating controversial finds, items that could challenge established historical narratives, the mainstream narrative. These items might also be kept from public display, doing this to avoid controversy or debate. For any mainstream historian, this is the end. And for any archaeologist, you are now exposed. And this is just the beginning today. In fact, it's just the beginning of a massive series that we are starting right now as we speak. I'm going to be referring back to this episode time and time again. And to this point in all of our episodes, I've never needed to read something more. This page in their book will be the end of the story that we're all told, and the beginning of free thinking, the beginning of finding the truth, stating, advocates argue that the public access to such artifacts is essential for a fuller understanding of our true history and for fostering critical thinking about the truth, our world's true history, suppressing giants, with some findings in the Americas that suggest advanced civilizations existed, just like we've talked about before European contact, such as evidence of complex urban planning, where the mainstream narrative, the mainstream archaeology, dismisses it, which contributes to these artifacts that have been found not being displayed or discussed, hiding artifacts that would expose an advanced previous civilization, hiding them simply because it goes against the mainstream narrative, is exactly what we're being told. This highlights the tension between advancing knowledge, exactly what we're doing here, or sticking with the existing power structure in academia and society as we evolve this knowledge, exactly like we're doing right here on this channel. There may be a shift towards greater public access to the items found that are being hidden from all of us to this day. And I say that this is the beginning because we are now starting this series where we're going to expose the sites, the items that are currently being blocked off from the public, blocking them off, hiding them from all of us, an attempt that has been very successful for a long time to keep their false narrative in place. How many times to this point, when going back and watching the first 106 episodes, have we heard off limits to the public due to preservation or to keep looters away? How many times? This is the nod. This is the key, and we now know this. We've seen this in episode 98. Where access to the physical artifacts may be restricted to ensure their preservation. We've seen it in episode 102, where it is no longer being exhibited to the public. We've seen so many examples of this, and today, it couldn't be any clearer, any more straightforward, that so much of what we are told in life is controlled. It's manipulated to fit the narrative that we are all given. And we are about to take this to another level. You all may have seen the conversations happening online lately. Censorship is back and it's happening everywhere. Platforms are, and they've always been controlling narratives and pushing the stuff that they want us to see. So we need to fight back. Rumble is the only company that has stood the test of time and deserves our support. On one side, Rumble is challenging big tech censorship, but now on the other side, they've introduced something that's incredible, that's going to give us protection from the big banks shutting us off. We all know that banks can cancel our accounts and freeze our cards. We've seen it. So that's exactly why they've launched Rumble Wallet. It's a wallet that nobody can cancel, and a wallet that supporters can use to instantly tip creators without any middleman taking cuts. With Rumble Wallet, you control your money. Not a bank, not a government, not a tech company, and not even Rumble. It's yours. Only yours. Yours to protect your future and family. You can buy and save digital assets like Bitcoin, Tether Gold, and now the brand new USAT, Tether's US regulated stablecoin in one place. Tether Gold is real gold on the blockchain with ownership of physical gold bars. USAT keeps your money steady against inflation. No banks are needed. This is not only a wallet to just buy and save. It also allows you to support your favorite creators by easily tipping them with the click of a button. There will be no more fees when you tip my channel or others. The fees where they take half of your money, with Rumble Wallet, those fees are completely gone. And you're gonna now be able to tip my channel and others. And we're actually gonna be able to receive the tip instantly. Support my show and other creators that you love by clicking the tip button on my Rumble channel. It's wallet.rumble.com. Download Rumble Wallet today. Open an account and step away from the big banks for good. Wallet.rumble.com or search Rumble Wallet in the app stores today. I appreciate all of your support. Episode 86, when we saw that the project is supported by National Agency of Cultural Heritage Preservation of Georgia, the AFCP, has allocated more than $1 million to preserve and protect the mainstream narrative, is exactly what I'm reading right now. This is a moment where our eyes open up even further, and we are able to see with more clarity than ever before. And once you're able to see, you will never go back. Understanding that preservation and protecting in the world of archaeology, this means preserving and protecting themselves, their narrative. This does not mean that they are preserving or protecting what they have found. And I want to make that very clear. And this is fully exposed now. The blindfold has been ripped off, and there's no going back. The AFCP, an initiative by the United States Department of State, just starting up in 2001. What a year. A group that the people of America fund through their tax dollars. A group that the world did not need in the 18 or 1900s. And I wonder why. Now again, I just want to clarify, and I don't want to be sarcastic at all. This group is amazing. We all know that they really are preserving and protecting all of our favorite sites. They support projects in over 130 countries, preserving tangible and intangible cultural heritage, such as historic structures, archaeological sites, and traditional crafts. They restore ancient temples and mosques, conservation of manuscripts from the Old World, textiles, and Old World music, preservation of significant landscapes. They are for sure doing all of this. Right. I know a few people that don't think that they're helping any of these places. In fact, it's the opposite. And I have to say that I know these people very well. Jebel Barkal and the sites of the Napatan region, Sudan, where the AFCP has funded conservation efforts at this UNESCO World Heritage Site. And we know this group very well, which includes temples, palaces, and pyramids from the Old World. You've got to ask, why are there so many groups that aim to supposedly preserve and protect sites that don't fit into the mainstream narrative that the exact same group publishes into the textbooks? And then they also fund the operation of teaching this narrative, the same narrative that they just wrote, all to the people at a young age in every single country. I believe that we have correctly translated their language. The words preserve, protect, and conservation, preserving and protecting their narrative is exactly what this means. And this unlocks so many more sites, so many old world places that is going to take this research so much further than we could have ever imagined. It will unlock places that have been hiding for so long. Jebel Barkal, a site that has been preserved and protected by the AFCP. And we all know why. The ruins include at least 13 temples. The temples were described for the first time in the 1820s. Again, our timeline. And never before this, with their drawings and their descriptions. In 1821, twice, and in 1844, documenting and recording significant architectural details. These documented accounts show architectural details that were here in the 1800s and have since disappeared. They're gone. And then the narrative just goes on without asking any questions. Like, what happened to them? How did they just disappear? Where you can see the depictions, the tents of the times, right here at the bottom. And then the pyramids in the background that they, of course, just found. These are the finders of the 1800s, our brand new timeline. With the pyramids at this time still having their tops and not yet blown off by the gunpowder, blowing off the tops of the pyramids within the last 200 years. What have we just found? Is this what they did in Egypt? What was the significance of the top of the pyramids? Why destroy the top? What is a pyramid? Why did the old world have so many of them? This site, the one that we're able to see today, is still incredible. What's left at this location after the AFCP has gone in here and preserved and protected the mainstream narrative, they still have depictions of the past, the old world, with depictions showing that there were beings here that did not look like us. And we know this at this point. And a palace that has been melted, destroyed, and completely turned into dirt. This whole area is mud and sand, with some sort of event taking place that wiped out this previous civilization. It is very obvious that something happened. This is not just from weathering. And I'm sorry, but this is not naturally forming, like we've been told. 118 miles from this site, we also have the ancient kingdom of Kush, with the AFCP conserving Kerma's treasures. Conserving. Let's take this further. While the primary meaning of conserve is to protect, preserve, or maintain something, the word conserve can imply keeping something out of view or safeguarding it in a way that limits public access, giving the appearance of hiding. But we promise, we're just trying to keep it safe, with examples being cultural artifacts. Artifacts or treasures are often conserved in controlled environments, like vaults. Keeping old world items in vaults. Could you even imagine, during a trial, saying that what they found is protected in a vault? And we promise it's just so the evidence is protected. We can't bring it into the room. But we swear they're there and we're hiding it. There's nothing to see and they're protected. Not putting them on public display. This is amazing. Environmental conservation to protect them from overexposure or human interference, closed off to the public. All of us. Our eyes are gonna ruin it and their eyes won't. It makes total sense. No. Confidential or sensitive materials, historical documents or artifacts may be conserved in archives where access is limited for their protection. And I'm just gonna be honest, these are all excuses to not let us see the old world, our true history, items that would give it all away. That there was a previous civilization here before us, a massive, powerful, advanced group of people right here where we all live. And their buildings, their structures remain for us to see today in every country, in every continent. We are not the most advanced civilization to ever be here. We are not evolving. This is nonsense. And we know this now. Technology has been here. They were not constructing the Milan Cathedral with a chisel while riding around on a donkey. This story is nonsense. Where they were struggling in winters, dirt roads, and couldn't find any food. Not having a store to purchase shoes, and then going to the bathroom in their front lawn. And not having any toilet paper after they're done. until we all show up and save the day in the 1800s. This narrative is done. It's over. Again, Kerma, located 118 miles away, again in Sudan, and again, more melting. And of course, containing over 30,000 individuals, the old world people. And then they give us this stupid distraction word again, the pottery, saying they found the burials, especially with regards to material evidence such as pottery. We know that this is the indicator that they located more. They give us the pottery over and over, suggesting they were primitive, sitting around making bowls, sitting around making teacups over and over, and couldn't put their socks on by themselves. They needed our help more than anything. And we accepted that and never asked, what else did they find? The first archaeological excavation at the site of Kerma was conducted in 1913 and 1916, not 1740, not 1630, and not 1580. Once again, in the 18 or 1900s. Our timeline over and over and over and over. This is the case. This place has been destroyed, all in my opinion, but based on everything that we've seen. I believe that there are looters of these old world sites, as well as destroyers, and I think they're the same group that's writing our history. Now, we've seen what they're doing in Sudan. I want to show that this is worldwide. I want to show that the truth is being hidden from all of us, blocked off from the public. When we travel to China and find the Terracotta Army, a collection of over 8,000 soldiers that was just found in 1974 by a local farmer. And then, of course, just finding it in 1974, they are able to pin down the date of -210 and -209. This is insane at this point. And all of this is incredible, but not even close to the best part. Are you ready? For centuries, occasional reports mentioned pieces of terracotta figures and fragments of the necropolis. Again, the necropolis, episode 105, a cemetery, especially a large one, belonging to an ancient city. Again, episode 105, this is a necropolis, revealing pottery yet again. Finding all of this while digging a well. The Terracotta Army is part of a much larger necropolis. Ground penetrating radar and core sampling have measured the area to be approximately 38 square miles. Can you even imagine how many people from the old world are buried here? This is unbelievable. A massive 38 square mile site that we are told is a necropolis. What else is not being shown to us within these 38 square miles? And what does this site connect to underground? Tunnels. Again, so many heads are removed, where I believe there were beings here, individuals that do not look like us at all. 7 of them right here in the front without a head. Do you believe that that's an accident? This series is just getting started. I cannot wait to share what we have found, telling us that they found rare animals, griffins, pits that formed the necropolis that lie within and outside of the walls surrounding the tomb mound, with the Terracotta Army statues, each having a uniquely crafted facial feature, hairstyle, and armor detail. No two faces are alike, meaning that we know these were not molds. The previous civilization had tools and were incredibly advanced. The figures are life-sized, typically 6 feet 6 inches tall. Some of the men had massive bodies. Again, giants, depictions of the past, massive individuals. They were all originally painted, but the paint came off after removing the mud surrounding the army, the mud flood, burying so much from the old world. And of course, we are told that a grave pit was discovered and excavated in 2003. Just finding all of this, with 121 skeletons retrieved, where they identify these people as the site workers, where we know that that's not true. And we also know that this is a necropolis. They just told us this. And there are so many more people than just 121 individuals across the 38 square miles. We know this. Most of the figures originally held real weapons, where the majority of these weapons were, of course, looted. Who looted these items? You tell me. Or they just rotted away. Not a chance. This was removed from the scene before we all got to see the old world's weapons that don't fit into the narrative. Again, what is really below our feet? I think that we all know that the previous civilization is, and I'm guessing that they still haven't found everything. With the main tomb of China's Terracotta army, we are told that the first emperor of China remains unopened. This tomb lies beneath a large mound at the heart of the burial complex. The necropolis that was just found in 1974 remains unopened. Why is this? I believe it's to, of course, preserve their narrative, where experts fear that opening the tomb could expose that the mainstream history is a lie, is exactly what I see. Telling us that our technology just isn't advanced enough to open the tomb, where I believe that they have found text, tablets, like we have seen, that explain what's inside. I think they have technology that can see inside, or I think that maybe they've already been in there. And then we see that they have records describing the tomb, scaring all of us, saying that there is mercury in there, so it's way too hazardous to show to the world. They know what's inside. They know that something has been found in the 1970s that would expose it all. And I believe that it's inside of this tomb, with these texts that we are told about stating the tomb is said to be a grand underground palace filled with old world treasures, replicas of the empire, replicas of the previous civilization, with some speculating that it might hold even more intricate artifacts than just the Terracotta army. And I think that's exactly right. All off limits to the public, all of us, all to preserve the mainstream narrative. How has this been hiding for so long? Knowing that we can still find locations like this, what else is still out there, waiting for us to expose it to the world? Pakistan. This is known as the Chaukhandi tombs, a graveyard where tombs were constructed either as single graves or as groups of up to 8, raised on common platform, where we have found so many times that the previous civilization, the old world, is buried below these incredible structures, these structures that last forever. Which brings up the question, did the previous civilization know that an event was on the way? An event that would wipe their incredible civilization out all over the world. And they wanted the next civilization to find them and see exactly what they were capable of, building these incredible, elaborate structures on top of their final resting place. I'm not sure, but at this point, we have to ask questions and add everything up that we've found together. When our civilization referenced these tombs for the very first time, yet again in our timeline, in 1851, and finally given serious attention in 1917. Both, yet again, are in our timeline, just like we said. This timeline that we're in just began within the last 300 years, in my opinion. The timeline that we have exposed with population data, technology release dates, false narratives, repopulation tactics, and so much more. The 1850s, a time period worldwide that humans were suffering, a population that was clearly reset, back to horses and wagons, cowboys and Indians, no technology, no electricity, completely reset. This group of people, a very small group of people, like we have shown, in terms of population, then start finding the old world structures, exactly like this site that we see today. A cemetery of this type was discovered at the turn of the 20th century by a political agent who was, of course, the first to investigate this site. as well as other cemeteries. A political agent gets to be the first one to see it. Do you believe that he was the one that really found it? You tell me. Obviously, somebody found this, and then the political figure steps in my opinion, and then has to decide what the heck to do. Since this place obviously doesn't fit in with the narrative that we've all been told, that we are the most advanced civilization to ever be here. We are evolving and we are advancing. We know this is not true. Something had to be done. Now, we have seen where the previous civilization would put J or an I right in front of the date on these buildings, where many times the J was just turned right into a 1. And then we are told that only one of the tombs was dated. We know that this is not true. We know that every single one of the tombs were dated. It was not just one, but we are told that one was dated. The date of the death being inscribed on it, with the numbers in reverse order as AH1169, where they try and translate it to 1756. We know that this place is not from 1756. We know that this is a lie and not even close. AH1169. What year are we really in? What timeline are we in? How many timelines have there been before us? What is AH? Again, telling us that some inscriptions have vanished and artifacts from the site are believed to have disappeared. Who do you think did this? And if you think this is a one-off, and this is your first time discovering this channel, I will show you that we are just getting started. Where this site is similar in style to the elaborate tombs at the Makli Necropolis. Near Thada, a necropolis is a cemetery, especially a large one belonging to an ancient city, the Old World, constructed with a buff-colored sandstone. Should we take this up a notch? I think it's time, so here we go. Some of the tombs are 12 to 14 feet tall, with multi-tiered platforms and domes. The scale of these tombs far exceeds the needs of a standard-sized human, leading to speculation. Were these tombs constructed in proportion to the actual size of the person being buried? 12 to 14 foot tall tombs. Could the tombs have possibly been designed for giants? The Chaukhandi tombs form a necropolis, a sprawling city of the dead. It is one of the largest ancient graveyards in Pakistan, covering a massive area. We were always asked, you all speak of this previous civilization. Well, where did they all go? Where are they? With the exact number of burials here being uncertain. Some historians estimate that there could have been up to 1,500 tombs, where we all know that there are so many more. An entire civilization buried in silence, where we now know that they are right below our feet. The Old World. Now, if we don't just take a minute and just look at the detailed construction at this site, I think we would all be doing it a disservice. It is unbelievable. It shows that this was not done with a hammer and a chisel, with no training, and just doing this in their spare time after they struggled to find food. A massive story is missing from our true history. This was not done with a chisel. And then take a look at this. This was not done with a chisel. Nothing at this site was being constructed with a chisel. The detail on these tombs are incredible. Can you believe that we're told that they hit this thing with a chisel just perfectly over and over without ever making a mistake? No training and suffering without a grocery store nearby. No shoes and no lights. We are told that these people were worse off than we are today. We are told that they were struggling to find food, yet they had so much time to chisel palaces and geometric designs into sandstone. How many of these sites that we've talked about were being taught in the classrooms and college history classes? These sites didn't make it into one of my books, and this is by design. Showing this site would start to confuse the whole class. The class would start to say, wait a minute, you just told me about the Mayflower and how people were getting sick, and nobody could do anything at night because they were freezing and suffering, living in the dark and fighting for survival for thousands of years. And at the same time, They're over in Pakistan just chiseling palace burial sites. What's going on here? This would ruin their story hour. Oh, no, I mean history class. We mentioned the elaborate tombs at the Makli Necropolis, which is also located in Pakistan. Again, this is a necropolis, and we have now unlocked this key. It shows us where the old world is when we are told that this necropolis in Pakistan is one of the largest funerary sites in the world. This is all spread over an area of 10 kilometers or 6.2 miles near the city of Thada. And this site houses approximately 500,000 to 1 million people from the old world. And I'm just gonna let you know that there are most likely so many more than 1 million. With this group here yet again, as of 1981, 1 million people that we are being told about, covering over 6 miles. This is massive. These two sites are only 43 miles apart, and I bet you they connect underground. We have seen this in Cyprus. These locations are massive burial sites for the previous civilization, in my opinion, with millions buried right underneath us, and they have been here our entire lives. Again, 43 miles apart, showing that the previous civilization was not just sitting around in one location. They were doing this type of incredible architecture and construction all over the world. Look at the detail. This is 43 miles apart with the same sort of detail. This is mind-blowing and clearly not done with a hammer. I feel like leaving this picture up on the screen and just looking at it for an hour. The detail is incredible, with massive columns at the site. Again, with perfect detail going all the way up. Again, this is a necropolis. We see the necropolis right here, and then we see the graveyard up here. And then we just have sports complexes and fast food restaurants. We have a gym and a gas pump. And I want to ask you, how many people in this location know that 1 million people from the old world that we were told about, where there's most likely more, 500,000 to 1 million for sure, are buried right underneath this office? And I say this because we all know that this is all over the world. This isn't just here in Pakistan. This is in every single country. And for so long before this research, most people had no idea. We would just go to the gym and have no clue that the old world was literally right underneath us. In so many cities, we have seen the catacombs, where they just name it different things, but it's all the same. It is the old world in a network of tunnels placed into geometric patterns. At the Chaukhandi tombs, there are, of course, still unexcavated areas, with certain sections of the tombs remaining unexcavated, all due to preservation. Preserving the narrative. We just saw this. We're at the Cahokia Mounds. They stopped excavating the site because of preservation. We've seen this all over the world. It's a repeating narrative controlled by the same group. What is here at the site that we are not allowed to see? What is so important that they need to preserve the narrative when we are told yet again that these areas are off limits to visitors, off limits to the public, all of us? What is in these so-called excavation areas? Where it goes on to say, if there are hidden chambers, we all know that there are, the hidden ones are also off limits to the public because they haven't been explored yet. So because they haven't got to go in there and see them first, then me and you are not allowed to go see them. Do we all see how this works now? We all know that they've seen them though. This is an excuse to not show exactly what they've found. Going back to the Makli Hill Necropolis, 43 miles away, telling us that there are inaccessible zones, with parts of the necropolis just being overgrown and have not been thoroughly surveyed. So those sections are not open to me and you because there's too much grass growing over it. So because they can't get a lawnmower out, that's off limits. There's too many weeds, and we can't afford lawn service. It's overgrown. Ridiculous. With some tombs being sealed off. Sealing off tombs so that they are inaccessible to tourists. This is crazy. and a clear admission that something important is in there that they don't want us to see. And for the best part, and to give so much away to all of us and make this another place in the world that proves that there was a previous civilization right here where we all live before us, and that civilization was incredibly powerful and advanced, and we're not being told about them, and that we are correct. There are rumors and speculation at the site about hidden tunnels or chambers beneath the necropolis. These are not accessible and might still be under study or completely undiscovered. There are underground tunnels and underground chambers, and we now know this. Can you believe what we have exposed today? Millions of people buried in Pakistan underneath structures that don't make sense at all in this stupid timeline that we're told about. Structures that are still here, and they will stand the test of time better than anything that we build today, by far. And right when you think you're done and you have this area all wrapped up, all you gotta do is look 3 miles away. And we have yet another necropolis, proving, in my opinion, that this entire location is just one massive burial site. These are not separate necropolises. There are so many bodies buried underneath our feet here in this location. So many more than 1 million. Something massive happened here. A story that we are not being told about. A story that I believe was found in the 17 and 1800s and is not being told to us today. I do believe that there's a group here that fully understands this place that we all live. And they understand the true story. I believe that they've found the tablets and they've found the technology. And at the very minimum, they understand the true story so much better than we do. They have found the clay tablets, they have found the text, and we have been shown this. We've exposed this all over the world. Again, only 3 miles away, we have a mosque. We are told that this was constructed in 3 years, between 1644 and 1647. All of this is done without a power tool and without a light bulb. No shoes and no training. And then when they're done, they get on their donkey and they go home to their dirt mud huts. These dates of 1644 to 1647 are complete nonsense, and we know this. Intricate tiles into perfect geometric patterns. Could you even imagine one of our towns building one of these today? In just 3 years. The courtyard is lined with 33 arches. Of course it is. And the mosque features excellent acoustics. A person speaking on one end of the dome can be heard from the other end, and prayers in the main hall can be heard throughout the entire building. An advanced civilization was definitely here, before all of us, is exactly what we're showing today. Understanding the true science of this world, understanding how this place works, and how sound works, how construction is done with perfection. This previous civilization mastered this place that we all live, and we're so much further ahead than we are today. We are finding this truth out one episode at a time. We are seeing that we are being given back the old world's technology, very slowly, in a controlled manner. Technology that I believe was found at these sites. And there were so many sites all over the world. Knowing this gives us an incredible understanding that so much was found in the last 200 to 300 years and is not being fully shown to us. Having a total of 93 domes, this is the most of any structure in Pakistan, with a restoration project taking place in 1812, right when they find it. This is destruction of whatever they found. This is not restoration, and we know this. With this group getting involved yet again in 1993, 43 miles away from Thada, we have another necropolis, proving that this is not one small necropolis. This is one massive burial site, in my opinion, with most likely millions, if not billions, buried underneath this layer of dirt, with tunnels being off limits to the public. And if we extend even further west, we find yet another burial site, another necropolis, all located right here in Pakistan, all in this same exact spot on the map, with this necropolis having an undisclosed amount of burials, though it is known to contain several hundred to possibly thousands of graves yet again. And we know there's so many more. We know that these are all connected. It's one massive necropolis, a burial site, especially a large one. We are told exactly what this is. They're not hiding it. This is a game, in my opinion, where this one dates back to at least the 13th century, with some reports suggesting it may be even earlier. This is the old world. And to tie all of this together today, where we go back to the beginning, the Chaukhandi tombs, where we found these giant tombs with incredible designs all over them. You would think that these would be the only ones in the world. You would think that this would be a once-off. When we only have to travel 25 miles away yet again, and we find even more, showing that this is all connected. This entire area is connected, not just above ground, but also below. Showing that, in my opinion, this is a massive burial site right here in Pakistan with a much deeper meaning, where there is an admission that they found ancient texts at the site from the area mentioning the shrine. They know the truth about these sites, of course, in my opinion, and you're free to think whatever you'd like, but I guarantee it. They know the truth about these sites. They know exactly what this is, but this is being hidden from us, where they have crocodiles at the shrine, where some historians say ridiculous things, that the crocodiles have just been at the shrine's pond for centuries. I'm gonna ask you all, do you think that these crocodiles are possibly keeping us all away from something? Something underneath them? You tell me. If you're enjoying this, please hit that subscribe button, the like button, and comment below if you'd like to know what happened in this picture. This place that we live is filled with old world treasures, incredible locations that tell such a different story once you understand what to look for, including this tomb that obviously doesn't belong in our timeline. And yet again, it is a vast burial ground where we see this over and over. The Chaukhandi tombs and the massive necropolises nearby are more than just burial sites. These are proofs that a civilization before us was operating at a level we can't even comprehend today. The scale of these tombs, the insane level of detail, and the precision in construction don't add up to the timeline that we've all been told. These weren't made with primitive tools, a stick and a shard of glass like we've seen before. They weren't made by people that were struggling to just survive. These were made by a civilization that understood how this world works. A civilization far ahead of what we are now. And what's with the restricted access? Why are we told that they found tombs and then sealed them off? Why are there inaccessible zones? Due to overgrowth or preservation. We all know what's happening here. There's something in those tunnels, those chambers, that they don't want us to see. And if you pair that with similar sites like Makli Necropolis, just 43 miles away, the evidence just becomes undeniable. These aren't separate spots. They are connected. This was a massive burial site for an advanced civilization, a civilization that's been buried and forgotten, and not by accident. So I'm gonna ask you all, what else is still out there? What other pieces of the puzzle are just waiting to be uncovered, hidden right underneath our feet? I truly believe that this is just the start, and trust me, we are not even close to being done exposing all of this yet. There is so much more to this story, and together, we're going to figure it out. I have a lot of episodes already lined up for the future. I cannot wait to share them.